Neil Young, the iconic rock legend, has a story that many might find surprising and a little embarrassing. The man who marched to his own beat had a moment of resentment that he carried for years. In the world of rock and roll, Young has always been known for his unique style and an unwavering commitment to his artistic vision. He's a true original, a maverick who doesn't follow trends. However, this very nature sometimes made collaborations a challenge, especially when it came to working with a group. Young's solo career was a joy to behold, but when it was time to work with others, his independent spirit could clash with the group dynamic. He was used to calling the shots, and the idea of dropping his projects at any moment was a reality he had to accept. But that didn't mean he had to enjoy every collaboration. Looking back at his discography, there are moments where Young seems to be struggling, creatively speaking. He's never been one to release records just to meet a quota. While Everybody's Rockin' provided some light-hearted moments, it's clear that Young wasn't aiming for a sequel to his iconic After the Gold Rush. However, his intuition didn't always lead to the best song choices. This Note's for You showcased his humor in the 80s, but albums like Landing on Water seemed to highlight his struggle with the decade's trends. Young, who wasn't built for the MTV era, found himself in a tricky situation. His rustic style didn't align with the flashy expectations of the time, and forcing him to adapt felt unnatural. He could grin and bear it during the peak of his career, but joining Crosby, Stills and Nash might have been a step too far. Young resented their Woodstock performance, feeling uncomfortable with the intense media attention. But it was their appearance on The Tonight Show that truly bothered him. He had a certain level of tolerance for TV appearances, but pairing the group with Tom Jones was a step too far in his eyes. Even years later, Young's manager recalled the incident, saying it was an embarrassing decision. Young never forgave his manager for that choice, ripping into him for a long time. It wasn't about disrespecting Tom Jones, it was about Young's bruised ego. He had spent years establishing himself as a rock icon, and now he was expected to play second fiddle to a pip star. The performance itself didn't damage their careers, but it left Young feeling a bit deflated. He had to deal with the frustration of being expected to play a role that didn't align with his image. It was a challenging moment for an artist who had always marched to the beat of his own drum. And this is the part most people miss. Young's guitar parts during that performance tell a story of their own. Despite his discomfort, he gave it his all, adding an edge to his playing to contrast Jones's vocals. It's a subtle rebellion, a musical statement that speaks volumes. So what do you think? Is this an unfair assessment of Young's career? Or an interesting insight into the challenges of collaboration? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments.